Hey fellow Trek Chatters, I'm Pit Trekkie and welcome to another episode of Pittsburgh's Trek Chat. Well, today's episode is going to be a little bit different. I'm actually not going to be talking Star Trek in today's episode. The reason why I'm doing this is, well, I mean, if you look around me here, this is the first time I've ever videotaped an episode of the show in a different environment. I'm actually on day 7 of my COVID-19 quarantine. Yes, I got the virus, and it's very frustrating for me because I wanted to be that one person that was going to get through the pandemic and not get the virus. Well, I got it, and that's despite following all the guidelines that have been set out, you know, making sure I'm wearing masks where I go. I never complain about it. I don't like it, but I wear them. Social distancing and sanitizing all the time. What I will say is that there's been an uptick, obviously. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day, okay? And it was warned that there was probably, with holiday travel and everything getting ready to start, that people were going to get the virus, and there was going to be an uptick. All right, and I live, 30 minutes outside of Pittsburgh, and we were told here in Allegheny County that it was starting to really spike. So the reason why I'm doing this video is because I didn't have the traditional symptoms that people would assume with the virus, okay? And I didn't realize that I had it until it was too late. So I wanted to do this video, not talking about Star Trek, but specifically about the virus, so that maybe you guys don't do what I did and go to work and wait to get tested. Okay? In the process of not knowing that I had it and not recognizing the symptoms, the early signs, I put other people at risk going to work, my clients, and I got a sense of guilt about that. I didn't do it on purpose. But if I would have paid more attention and looked at the symptoms a lot quicker, then maybe I wouldn't have put people at risk. All right? So let me just kind of start back at the beginning. I was on vacation from work early on in November. November 5th through November, and I went back on November 15th, I believe it was. All right? And I was fine. I had no problems at all. All right? The only thing that my wife and I usually did was just go out and go grocery shopping. We'd grab a bite to eat here and there. But again, we followed all the isolating precautions, made sure we kept our hands clean, wore masks, all that wonderful stuff. Never been an issue. All right. November 12th was my 40th birthday. We did go out to dinner, my parents, my in-laws, my wife, and me. Again, we did this whole social distance thing. Or the masks, we did everything the restaurant asked us to do. That was the only real big gathering that we did. That was it. The rest of the time we were pretty much at home and then running some errands. So that Saturday, so it was 2 days later, I decided it was time to go and cut grass. And just to give you a little heads up here, the belt on my riding mower broke a month or two earlier. And my wife and I decided, you know what, why don't we just wait and replace the belt next year instead of wasting the money and doing it now for just one cut. So that ended up meaning that I had to do the yard by hand. And I live on half an acre and a lot of it is sloped. All right, so I ended up cutting half of the yard by hand. And I was really worn out afterwards. And I had pulled a lot of muscles in my back, and I was tired from it. So I'm not used to doing all that by hand. And so I was really tired that day and sore. The first warning signs that something was wrong happened on Sunday. That was November 15th. I woke up that morning. It was my last day of vacation before I went back to work. And so I woke up, I was very sore, very achy, and I was very fatigued. Now, most of you guys know that I've lost a lot of weight in the last almost 11 months. I've lost so far 83 pounds. And one of the things that would happen when I was really obese was I would want to nap during the weekends. We would go, my wife and I would wake up, we'd go get breakfast at a local diner, I'd come home, and I would be beat. I'd crash for a couple hours each day on the couch. And that has stopped since the 83-pound weight loss. So I was really surprised when it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I said to my wife, Brandy, I said, I need to take a nap. I'm exhausted. So I took a 2-hour nap, and I still felt tired afterward, and I was achy. Monday, the 16th, I went back to work. All right, it was the 16th, not the 15th. I was achy the whole day. Run down, fatigued, and achy. And I was like, okay, I really must have overdone it Saturday afternoon because I'm still feeling like crap. So I go to work on Tuesday, the 17th, still feeling it. Still feeling very sore, very achy. But that achiness was starting to go down. So I was like, okay, must be starting to feel better. Now, little asterisk right there. The week that I was on vacation from work, Brandy was sick. She had a cold. So at that time I was thinking, okay, well maybe if I'm achy and stuff, I've been achy the last couple of days, maybe I'm just getting that cold that she had. And then it all happened. I woke up Wednesday morning and these were my symptoms. In addition to still feeling very tired and achy, which actually went back up, I had a very mild sore throat. It was like more raw than sore. Kind of like if you have a sinus infection, which I get a lot of. So I figured maybe that was part of what it was. And of course I felt like a head cold. My ears were clogged. Everything was fine. I remember I went to work. Yes, I was tired, but I was also drinking coffee and everything like that. I could smell, I could taste, everything was fine. And then it happened. Around 12:45, I was talking to the doctor, and I had noticed earlier in the day too, my voice was starting to go a little bit, and I was having a very mild, dry cough. And I was in a meeting with one of the psychiatrists I work with, and he noticed it. And he said, well, Chris, maybe you're getting the flu because you're getting achy and cold. And I said, okay. So I decided to take my temperature. And I tend to run very low. I was 96.7, I believe, or 96.9, that's a normal temp for me. So I didn't think that it was COVID, because they say one of the first signs is high fever, and I didn't have it. My boss saw me taking my temperature, and she said, Chris, is something wrong? And I said, well, I've been very achy, and I just feel fatigued. And she said, go talk to the nurse. So I talked to the nurse, and obviously because of everything that's been going on, she and my boss were very concerned, so they emailed management, and management sent me home 2 hours early. All right. Because of that, and for precautions, they said that I had to go get a COVID test, which my agency provides. Okay. One of the things that happened right before I got sent home, though, was I was asked if I had lost my sense of smell or lost my sense of taste. And I said no. Because remember, I had been drinking coffee all day. I had had no problems. I had decided to make tea for myself because I was cold and I was achy. And I decided I'm going to smell it. It's a very pungent tea. It's called Christmas Eve, and it's got spearmint in it and a whole bunch of other things. It's very aromatic. And that's when I noticed it. My sense of smell was half gone, but I could still taste. So anyway, I went home, and then it hit. It was gone. My sense of smell was gone. My sense of taste was gone. I was like, oh shit, this isn't good. This wasn't like this a few hours ago. I remember I'd had chicken wings that were very well seasoned that night for dinner, and it tasted like cardboard. I couldn't taste anything. The ironic thing is that I could still taste my drinks. I was drinking Crystal Light, and I was drinking Pepsi Zero Sugar. And oddly, I could still taste it at I'd say about 30%. But it was weird, because a few hours ago it was there and it was gone. So the next day I get up, I was still feeling the same way. My congestion had gotten worse. It felt like I had had a really, really super bad cold. And so I went and I got tested. I got a rapid test, and I came back positive. So you can only imagine what I felt like at that moment, because I thought I just had a cold. Even going down to the test, I said, you know what? It's just a cold. Brandy had a cold last week. She didn't say anything about losing her taste or smell or anything, so that's all it is. No, it was COVID. And I was told by the doctor that I had to be on quarantine for at least 10 days, couldn't go to work. And I was told that my wife was probably going to get sick too. Now, a lot of you guys out there are married or dating or whatever. Can you imagine what it's like knowing that the person that you are living with, the person you're married to, is probably going to get sick too? And that scared the hell out of me. But what also scared me is, holy shit, I went to work for 3 days. I went to my full-time job, and I had clients at my private practice. What the hell's going to happen to them? So you can imagine what it was like when I had to put the word out that I had COVID-19. So basically what I've been doing at home is basically sheltering in place, pretty much. As you can see, like I said, I'm in a different room filming this episode right now. I have not spent any time with my wife in 7 days. Tomorrow it'll be a week since I got the diagnosis. I've basically been here in my man cave, isolated, not leaving except to go to bed. That's it. Every morning I've been down here keeping to myself, watching TV, and I vowed to myself that I wasn't going to just sit here and do nothing. So I've actually been cleaning my man cave. That's why there's nothing on the walls, because I've been cleaning in here, and today I'm going to actually start mopping the walls. And which is a good thing too, because once I'm off quarantine in 4 days, it'll be sanitized in here. I decided I wanted to do this episode because I wanted all of you out there to recognize the fact that COVID symptoms aren't the same for everybody on the onset. And I think a lot of that is through the media and on TV. A lot of what we basically hear with the symptoms is get this high fever and you're not going to be able to breathe to the point where you're going to have to go to the ICU in the hospital and be put on ventilators. I didn't have any of that. And that's why I didn't know that I had COVID, and I wish I would have thought more clearly earlier on. Then maybe I wouldn't have gone to work and exposed people without my knowledge. I mean, I couldn't help it. I mean, it's not my fault I got COVID, but I wish I would have paid more attention to the earlier warning signs, because I honestly didn't think I had it. I thought that I just overdid it in the yard. And then by that Wednesday, when I was starting to get the other little minor symptoms, I still should have said to myself, no, you know what, I better go get checked. But I was like, no, it's just a cold. Brandy had a cold. She didn't report anything. And I'm mad at myself for it. So I figure if I put this out and let you guys know what my early symptoms were, you guys can keep an eye out for that as well. And go get tested immediately. Okay? One of the first things that I felt when I got diagnosed with the COVID was I was angry. I was angry at myself more than anything, because I've done what the CDC and everything is asking to do. You know, don't go out constantly into big crowds, and basically all I do is work. I work 3 jobs, mostly 2 other jobs. The third one I work maybe once, maybe twice a month. And I haven't been there, so that way they weren't exposed. But I always no matter where we go, I'm always masked up. I always make sure that I'm sanitized, and I do the social distancing thing. I follow the stickers on the floor and everything. Even then, I still got the virus. So it can happen to anybody. It's not a joke. The one big thing I would definitely say to people is just make sure you're wearing your masks. I know they're not 100% effective, but they're probably one of the best things that we can do right now to try to avoid exposing other people. I don't like wearing them. They're a pain in the ass to wear. They're uncomfortable, but they're there and being recommended for a reason, or being told to be worn for a reason. So whenever you're going anywhere, just wear them. I have no problem wearing them, despite being uncomfortable. Just do it. It's not that difficult. Okay, and just keep your hands sanitized. Make sure you're washing and doing everything that you need to do. not everybody's going to get the symptoms that everybody else has gotten. Many others have gotten, I should say, that ended up going into the hospital. Just very minor cold-like symptoms. It's basically, like I said, I felt like I've only had a really, really bad cold. One thing I will say, and it, I'm glad I'm saying this now, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Even though I'm not happy I got COVID-19, I'm thankful for the symptoms that I got, because it could have been a lot worse. I mean, like I said a minute ago, I was angry when I found out I got the virus. But then I sat back and I realized, and I said, you know, what the hell am I bitching about? You know what, there are 250,000 other Americans and many others around the world that got it a lot worse and aren't going to be able to see their families for Thanksgiving, but also for Christmas, birthdays, 4th of July, Arbor Day, whatever you want to say, because they lost their lives to it. The fact that I have to sit in quarantine for 10 days is not a big deal. It's not a big sacrifice compared to everything that they have gone through. And there are so many other people in the hospital right now hooked up to machines fighting for their lives. So I'm very, very lucky that I never had a fever, okay? I've been able to breathe the entire time. My congestion was very minor compared to what a lot of other people have had. So don't think that fever and not being able to breathe are going to happen. Watch for that. You might not have that. Very, very big and very important to know. That being said, it is going to be very hard tomorrow, with tomorrow being Thanksgiving. I'm not going to be able to see my family. And not just me, but my wife. Because we live in the same house, not only am I quarantined, so is she. And we've barely seen each other in a week. No physical contact, really nothing. Basically, we're going to be spending our Thanksgiving in the same house, but separated through a wall. Or she has to come to my man cave door and ask me if I need anything. That's going to be our Thanksgiving. We're going to have nobody, no family contact. I can't put anybody at risk. I don't know if I even have the virus anymore. After a week, it might be gone. You know, right now, the only symptoms I have left are some mild congestion. That's it. Everything else feels great. But even though I have to sacrifice Thanksgiving, at least I know I'm going to be here to see everybody at Christmas and many other holidays and birthdays and things of that nature. So I'm very, very lucky. And I'm not going to sit here and bitch about losing another week and a half of work and being away from my family. You know, all I'm hoping is that everybody I was around didn't get sick. That's the part that's scaring me the most. And I'm just praying everybody's okay. Somebody at my full-time job posted a picture in full COVID precautionary PPE equipment right now, and I'm down to having to wear a face shield, masks, gowns, and I felt so bad seeing that, knowing that it's because me getting the virus, because I got the virus, they have to gear up for whoever knows how long. I'm itching to get out of quarantine here. I've had enough of sitting in this room. So that's about it. Like I said, I wasn't going to talk Star Trek in this episode today. I just wanted to put out my symptoms of when it started, so that way everybody understands it's not the classic case of, you know, getting a high fever and not being able to breathe. Okay, that's what I thought it was going to be. So when I got cold symptoms, I thought that I had a cold. At first I thought it was just me overdoing it and working out in the yard. Okay, and that it was just exhaustion. Okay, don't do that. Okay, if you get any little inklings of any little minor symptoms of anything, go get checked. Go get checked, because you don't know who else it could affect. All right, so that's my story. I've got 4 more days of quarantine here to go, and I'll survive it. And Monday I'm allowed to go back to work, and believe me, I'm really looking forward to it. Alright, so that's my story. So please, if you watched the video, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so that way you can get any notifications of new episodes. To get to my channel, just come here to youtube.com, type in Pittsburgh's Trek Chat in the search engine, and it'll take you directly to my channel. You can also follow the show on Facebook, facebook.com/Pittsburgh's Trek Chat. You can also follow the show on Twitter at PGH Trek Chat. If I don't get another episode out before the holiday, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. And until the next episode, may yous live long and prosper.